Hello everyone. In this video I'll be talking about sleep hygiene in children. Many of the tips I'll be sharing can be applied to adults as well. So if you're struggling with sleep yourself, some of this advice can help your sleep as well. Many of you already know what sleep hygiene is, but for those who don't know what it is, sleep hygiene is a series of conditions that promote healthy sleep. Even if you know what sleep hygiene is, stay until the end because you may learn something new. First of all, don't feel like you have to apply all of these changes that I'll be talking about at once, because that would be too much, too overwhelming. Start with one or two at a time that you feel comfortable working on, and wait to see if there are any changes. Children are particularly resilient to poor sleep hygiene, so most likely you won't need to follow all these advices. But if there are any problems with sleep, sleep hygiene is where you need to start, both in children and adults. So let's get started with my tips. First of all, you want to have an evening routine. So you may have dinner, then they go for a bath, they have some quiet play, a story, and then they go to sleep. For example, this routine needs to involve calm activities. If the child is able to, get them involved in deciding what this evening routine is going to be like. Don't ask open questions, as in, what would you like to play before bedtime? Because they may choose football or running around, and you don't want anything that is alerting. So you may want to ask closed questions such as, do you want to have your bath first or read a story first? So things like that, appropriate choices, because we want to keep it calm. The sleep environment needs to be dark, quiet, relatively cool, and free from distractions. So in certain times of the year where it gets light very early, you might need to use blackout blinds. Also, you need to be mindful of the noise around the house, any conversations, the volume of the TV. You might need to close doors to keep the noise out of the children's rooms. There might be toys or screen devices that the child might be tempted to use during the night, so you may need to leave these out of the room. Try to keep waking up and going to bed times consistent, quite similar, both during the week and at weekends, and ideally during the holidays as well. This will help the body get used to going to bed and waking up at the same time, and there won't be any problems with suddenly changing the sleep schedule from the weekend to the week and so on. Having a warm bath or shower before bedtime raises the body temperature. And once you get out of the bath or shower, your body temperature will drop, which will help you feel more sleepy. So that can help some people fall asleep faster. Although there are some people that will find it more alerting for some reason. So if that's the case with your child, you need to reserve showers and baths early in the day or in the morning. But for most people, especially a warm bath, is quite relaxing. So consider including that in your evening routine. Anxiety and worries can cause a lot of problems with sleep. I'm sure you know that. So to help with that, make sure the child has a chance to talk about any worries or anxieties earlier in the day. For example, make it a routine about talking about their school day as soon as they get back from school. Don't leave it till bedtime to have these chats, because that might keep them awake. Also, as bedtime approaches, dim the lights. If you can, change the light bulbs to those warmer ones, because white lights or like the coldest shade of light are quite alerting. They make it difficult for melatonin, the sleep hormone, to be produced. So consider this little change if you can. Use lamps, for example. Ideally, do not use screens, but if you absolutely have to use them for whatever reason. Dim the brightness as much as you can, use a blue light filter. But for children who most of the time they don't really need to use screens just before bedtime, make it a rule that 2 hours or at least 1 hour before bedtime, no screens. Screens are put away in the drawers, wherever, and books come out or calm games come out. Bath time, make it a bit of a routine, which makes it way easier to stick to. Do not engage in any alerting or vigorous activity, any like sports, rough and tumble, tickle games. Do not engage in those, say, about 2 hours before bedtime. These 2 hours need to be the 2 calm hours of the day. So if you have children that are very energetic and they really have this excess energy that needs to come out, make sure that after school, before dinner ideally, you take them to the park, you take them outside with this last sunlight that can help the production of melatonin. So take them outside for a run, to play football, to climb around, whatever they want to do, just to get themselves tired, and that will help them be calmer when bedtime approaches, and they won't have as much of a need for this vigorous activity because they already had that before, and they will be tired, which will help them fall asleep faster. Sunlight exposure, especially early in the day, early in the morning, has been proven to be quite beneficial in the production of melatonin later in the day, in the evening. So make sure that your children get a chance to get some fresh air and some sunlight outside, not inside the house. It's got to be outside, to get this first sunlight of the day, first thing in the morning, 9-10 o'clock. The last meal of the day can have a big impact in sleep. It's known that if you have a big meal too close to bedtime, it's likely to disrupt your sleep. So make sure that the children finish their dinner 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. Not anymore, because if we leave too many hours between their last meal and bedtime, they may get hungry, as children need to eat more often than grown-ups. So be mindful of that as well. There are some food colorings that are known to cause or favor, at least, hyperactivity in children. So try to avoid any artificial food colorings during dinner time, during their last meal. Having a warm glass of milk can help some people fall asleep faster, as it's known to help increase melatonin production. Make sure they have a glass of milk, if they are going to have one, at least an hour before bedtime, not any closer, as it may cause them needing to go to the toilet during the night, and we don't want that. So make sure you are limiting fluids as well in the evening, so very limited fluids after dinner. Some people like their milk with chocolate powder or Ovaltine or other powders that contain a lot of sugar. So try to avoid those, because that can give the children a surge of energy that we really don't want at bedtime. So reserve these ones for the morning. Make sure they understand as much as possible the importance of sleep. Link it to things that motivate them. For example, if they want to do well at school, you can explain that it will help them be more intelligent, because healthy sleep is linked to better cognitive function. It's also been linked to better growth, better immune function. So just pick whatever your child is motivated in, and you can use that as a motivator. As you see, there are a lot of tips for healthy sleep hygiene, and I'm sure I'm forgetting something. So please don't feel pressure to do all of these changes at once. Just try 1 or 2 at a time. Just give it a bit of time, see how the child responds, and if you need, just introduce another 1 or 2 changes, and so on. So I hope you learned something new, and above all, I hope that some of these tips will help you and your child have better sleep. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments box. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye! If you like this video and think that others can benefit from this content, please like, share or subscribe. It all helps me reach more people, and I'm sure it can make a big difference to many families. Thank you.